Now I have for you an incredible guest who you need to support, learn more about, and really just get behind. That's Maebe Pudlow, AKA Maybe a Girl, progressive Democrat for the US House of Representatives, running for the 30th District out in California. Maebe, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, Adrienne. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes, and I'm excited to have you here. And also I'm excited to have you in positions of power, being the first drag queen who's ever been elected to public office. And I know you are currently serving right now as treasurer and at-large representative for the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council in Los Angeles. And I'm sure it's very difficult to watch all these attacks on the drag community, the trans community, and so many other queer communities across the nation. What is this? How is this impacting your role in what you do as a leader?
It's been such an interesting journey, Adrienne. This is my third time running for Congress. I ran in 2020, I ran in 2022, and now I'm running in 2024. I came really close last year. I ended up being in second place out of 9 candidates. And LGBTQIA issues have always been an integral part of my platform. But it just seems that in the past year to 2 years, 3 years, we've been seeing such an increase in anti-LGBTQIA legislation being introduced on levels all across the United States, on the state level and now on the federal level. And, when I started running, again, LGBTQIA issues, huge part of my platform. But now we're at this point where it's a life or death situation for a lot of folks. And, we're being attacked right now. Folks like myself are being attacked. And so it's become even a bigger part of my platform this time around. In fact, a lot of folks ask me, what would be the first piece of legislation that you would introduce if you're elected to Congress? And I have a bill that I would introduce that is a bill that would provide sweeping federal protections for LGBTQIA people in the face of all of this anti-LGBTQIA legislation.
Yes, and that would be something that would be very much welcome as far as I'm concerned, and thinking in most parts of California. But we do know that there are plenty of areas in California as well as throughout the nation that are anti-drag, anti-trans. They are largely filled with ignorance and hate. And so I'm wondering, how do you see the future of drag given the current climate?
That's such an interesting question. First of all, drag performers, we've always been activists. We've always been at the forefront of, LGBTQIA activism. And more so when it comes to trans people. Trans people have always been at the forefront of LGBTQIA rights. And so I hope that a lot of people start to pay attention and get involved. One of the big reasons that I'm running, well, first of all, let me say, a lot of folks think that I, am running just on an LGBTQIA platform, which that's a huge part of my platform, but it is not the only part. It's, I have an intersectional humanitarian platform. Everybody should be getting involved. We want to be protecting human rights across the board. Healthcare for everybody, housing for everybody, education for everybody, racial justice, environmental justice. It's all intersectional. And so I hope that we will get a lot of folks involved. And there's never been a trans representative federally elected to our government. And I always like to say, as a good friend of mine says, if you are not at the table, then you are on the menu. And queer people are very much on the menu right now. Drag is a part of that, but drag is for some people, that's what they do, but trans is who you are. That's part of your identity. And the thing that a lot of folks aren't talking about is how these anti-drag bills are actually anti-trans bills. When you make laws saying that you can't go out in public dressed as the gender that you weren't assigned at birth, that not only affects drag performers, that affects trans people directly.
Absolutely, and the sexualization of just the existence of someone, and it really feeds on this puritanical nonsense that also seems to be interwoven with this Christian base. But either way, it's very, very problematic. And I know we don't have very much time left, and I'm really grateful for the time I've had with you. But if you wanted the viewers to know one last thing, not necessarily just limited to your run for the 30th district there in California, but in terms of this fight on the larger platform against these anti-trans, anti-drag measures, what would you say?
I would let folks know that this is happening everywhere. This isn't just happening in red states. We're seeing this happen in states like California. Anti-trans legislation is being introduced here. In fact, right next door in my district in Glendale, folks have been infiltrating the school board with anti-LGBTQIA rhetoric. In fact, there's going to be a school board meeting next Tuesday, and I hope that folks will show up to support queer people, because it's expected that the Proud Boys and Gays Against Groomers will be there. So I hope folks will show up for that.
Absolutely. Show up, show out. Please use your voice, push back, and also support Maebe. Maebe Pudlow, thank you so much for joining us. Maebe, a girl who is running for California's 30th district. That election is March 5th of 2024. But between now and then, put in the work to back Maebe and her good work that I know she will do if elected to Congress.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.